Wednesday, September 8th, 2021, Maneco 64, home of alternative economics and contrarian views. We're going to look at how gold is timeless. And it's also a timeless store of value. Yes, there are pitfalls to holding gold or anything of value for that matter. There are always those, be it government or criminals, who would want to, yes, invade your property, hurt your person, and steal from you. So any property, be it tangible or even financial, is never safe. But I think this story, which I found from CNN, of all places, is a great example of what happens in times of turmoil. And I think nowadays it's very appropriate to look at this. Am I trying to scare people about holding gold? No, I'm just trying to give you my honest opinion and what I think could happen. And before I go into this short article, I'd like to recommend an interview I did with Arpad from Star Path Academy a while ago. And it's about how he got through, him and his family got through economic collapse and hyperinflation in Romania in the 1990s. And he talks about gold. He was the person who actually made that statement that gold is timeless. That's what he learned from his parents and grandparents. But some of you, of course, know that it's hard to keep a hold of any kind of wealth during a time of turmoil. And right now, I think we are in that time. And yes, I will recommend, though, a couple of books before I go also into this article. One is The Mandibles by Lionel Shriver. Highly recommend this book. It's fiction, but it feels like what's going on today. And it talks about gold to some extent as well. I think this will help you understand what I'm trying to convey to you. The other book, I'm going to hold on to it for now. I'm going to go into the article now. And you will see why the other book could be relevant. I don't have proof whether it is. So it's actually from CNN style section, which is weird. Let's see if there's a date. 7th of September. So it's quite recent. And it's under luxury. So yeah, gold is luxury. And it says, builders discover stash of 239 gold coins worth up to $356,000. Written by Sana Noor Haq, CNN. So let's go through this article and I'll give you my view of it. Builders discovered a stash of 239 gold coins at a manor in northwestern France, which could earn up to 300,000 euros or $356,490 at auction later this month. The three craftsmen found the treasure while working on the restoration of a house in Plozave, Brittany, in the coastal area of Bigouden in 2019, according to a press release from auctioneers de Loire ahead of the sale. The property had been purchased by a couple in 2012. While merging a barn and a nursery, the builders found a metal box lodged inside a wall, which had gold coins inside. Just days later, above a beam, they spotted a purse containing another set of coins. All 239 coins were minted during the sovereignty of Louis XIII and Louis XIV, according to the Regional Preventive Archaeology Service in France, which authenticated, analyzed, and researched the coins. The oldest of them dates back to 1638, with the most recent from 1692. There are several especially rare coins among the collection, including the Golden Louis with Templar cross, Golden Louis with a long curl, and Louis XIV by the Atelier de Dijon, which has an estimated value of 15,000 euros. The mansion itself was constructed in the 13th century and would have been owned by a family of affluent merchants or farmers, with the identity of the last known occupants stemming from the 18th century. Keep that in mind when I talk about another book. You might be hearing Billy. He is panting a little bit. We've just been out for a walk and it's quite hot. He's lying on the floor. So that's Billy the dog. He didn't want to go on the sofa because it's a bit hot for him. So let's continue. The Iroise Sea, located just off Brittany, was a bustling area for trade in the 17th century due to the exportation of Bordeaux wines to England and cereals to Northern Europe, according to the press release. There was financial decline in the region from 1750 to 1850, partly due to the expansion of docks in Normandy, the release adds. However, the development of the fishing industry revived the local economy. The value of the coins will be determined at Deloitte Auction House in Angers, France on September 29th. They will be split between the 3 builders who discovered the coins and the 2 owners of the manor, with each group receiving half of the funds. Seems very fair to me. So this is the book I'm going to reference, Fiat Money, Inflation in France, how it came, what it brought, and how it ended. Many of you know about this book already. For those who don't, I'm going to put a link to it in the description. And think about reading this book. It's very short. I'll provide you a free PDF. You can also buy it if you want and read it and keep the real thing. I think it's a great little book. I've been referencing and learning from this for about 20 years. So you notice that they say here, the mansion itself was constructed in the 13th century and would have been owned by a family of affluent merchants, of farmers, with the identity of the last known occupants stemming from the 18th century. So after the French Revolution, or during the French Revolution in 1789 to like the mid 1790s, there was political, social, economic, monetary mayhem in France. This is what this story is about. It talks about how after the revolution, there was the reign of terror, and the French started issuing paper money, assignats. And the issuance of this paper money or currency went through the roof. They started at first as a one-off. They were very reluctant. But it became a little bit like QE. They always thought about tapering, but when they tapered, the economy fell back into depression. So they kept issuing it. And at one point, of course, they banned the ownership of gold and silver. And you could be punished by death if you try to use gold and silver. And it says here that maybe the people who own these coins could have been there until the 18th century. So you kind of wonder if it was during that time that they hid those coins away very safely. It's only speculation. And that is, of course, the pitfall of having something so precious and valuable in times of turmoil. You hide it away, and then something happens to you and your family might not know about it. And it's left there for hundreds of years, maybe even more. But one thing I would say, whoever hid those gold coins, and whenever they did it, they did a very good job of keeping it away from criminals. And by criminals, I don't just mean a thief or a burglar out there. I mean governments that don't have the best interest of the individual. And that's the lesson of the story. At least the people who found these coins seem to be, I don't know them, of course, but they seem to be people who are honest, three builders doing their job. And the two owners of the manor could be husband and wife. So at least it's going to go to a deserving group of people, I would say. And I'm glad to see that the French government will not get any of it, I hope. They might get some taxes, unfortunately, once these coins are sold. So yeah, you kind of wonder, yes, there were coins from the 1600s, Louis the 13th and 14th. And you might say, oh, it probably wasn't in the 1790s. Well, you never know. Some of you might have coins from the 1800s, like I do. So it's not out of the realms of possibility that this wealthy farming and merchant family hid that during the fiat money inflation in France, during the assignats and the collapse of the monetary system in France. It could have also have been during the aftermath of the Mississippi bubble in 1720. That could be as well when that happened. There was monetary and political turmoil during that time. But I think it just proves that gold is timeless, and especially as a store of value. So yes, cryptocurrencies have gone through the roof, so to speak, in terms of value, or to the moon in the last 10 years. But I wonder if in a couple of 100 years' time, people will be finding cryptocurrencies in their attic or wherever. I don't think so. So before I finish, I highly recommend you read this book. I think it's a good manual, albeit quite depressing, about what could be happening, not only in the United States, but Western Europe, and this one as well, of course. So you can maybe try to extrapolate what might have happened to this family in Brittany or in northwestern France. We don't know exactly when, of course. So if you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit the like button. Please share it far and wide. Think about subscribing to my channel if you haven't yet. And you can also follow me on Rumble, Twitter, Facebook, and all these other platforms below here. I wish you all a great day. Take care. Bye.